New information at noon in a double shooting that left one person dead in Mount Airy. A homeowner defending himself, now fighting for his life in the hospital. Police in France are piecing together who was behind the latest terror attack as dozens more victims recover.
Well, I've got some new information to share with you regarding yesterday's survey from the National Weather Service. There are some changes, and I'll have that coming up for you here in just a couple of minutes.
Now, breaking news and the Tri-State's most accurate forecast. This is 9 on your side.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Allie Kramer in today for Julie Dolan. Breaking at noon, an indictment in a cold case murder. James Teran is accused of shooting and killing Coleraine liquor store owner Venkat Reddy Goli just after the store closed on New Year's Eve 2012. Now, Teran is already serving time in jail in Caldwell, Ohio for an unrelated crime. And right now, one person is dead, another in the hospital following a shooting inside a Mount Airy apartment. We've now learned police believe the man in the hospital was actually shot and killed the other person in self-defense. Now, 9 on your side's Jordan Burgess has been following this story for us throughout the day. Right now, it is still busy out there at the apartment complex on West North Bend Road. Police say at this time, the evidence points to this coming down to a man defending his own home. Officers spent several hours out there investigating, as you can see. They say they were called by the person living in the apartment. He told them he'd just been shot during a robbery attempt by 3 masked men. He also said he fired back, hitting one of the suspects. That suspect later died. The man who called for help did survive. He was taken to the hospital, and the last update we had again is that he was in surgery. Police say the other 2 would-be robbers got away. Those who live around the area in Mount Airy say they don't ever see anything like this. Police say it could be a while before they actually sort out why the victim appears to have been targeted.
We're going to look at all the different angles to understand why this happened, how did this happen, and certainly seek the cooperation of the victim in this case and find out what his role was.
I'm just astounded what I saw this morning because I make my daily walk through here each morning. And this is quite a peaceful neighborhood. We don't have these kinds of things that transpire around here.
Now, police at this point say they don't have a lot to go on as to who those other 2 suspects are. They're asking for you to give them a call if you know anything. You know the number, 513-352-3040. And also, one person is dead, 3 others recovering after a horrific overnight crash that police say was caused by speeding. 9 on your side's Tamika Artis is with us. She tells us how 2 senior citizens narrowly escaped being crushed to death when 2 cars lost control and slammed into their home. Former Cincinnati police officer and NFL player Darrell Beavers was back in court today. Police say he failed to update his address. Beavers is a registered sex offender after pleading guilty just a few years ago to attempted tampering with evidence and illegal use of a minor in nudity-oriented material. Investigators say he set up a fake police station and received nude photographs from a teenager who was a member of the Cincinnati Police Explorer program. He was released today on his own recognizance. And we have some new information from the National Weather Service about that storm damage we showed you yesterday. This was the damage in the Work Road area. It included a trampoline that ended up on top of a house. We now know this was an EF0 tornado. And this is some of the damage that we showed you from Sky 9 in Westwood, where the roofs were peeled off of an apartment complex. This was the work of straight-line winds that were up to 100 miles an hour. 9 First Warning meteorologist Jason Adams joins us now to explain a little bit more.
Yeah,
Jason?
and that's a big change from yesterday, Allie, where the straight-line wind damage was over in Clifton. What happened is the National Weather Service actually got Clifton and areas of Westwood mixed up. Clifton, of course, Interstate 75 to the east. Where the apartment complex was, that was where the damage happened with the 90 to 100 mile per hour winds.
Well, it's official. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump made it official just a few moments ago on Twitter. Indiana Governor Mike Pence will be his running mate. Moments after this tweet came out, Pence officially withdrew from the governor's race. Trump says there will be a news conference tomorrow with the announcement. It was actually supposed to be today, but was postponed due to the attack in France. And the Republican National Convention starts Monday in Cleveland. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson's already there today to see security preps firsthand after warning lawmakers that radical activists could be drawn to the RNC. 9 on your side has you covered at the RNC. Our Craig McKee will be bringing us coverage from Cleveland starting on Sunday. And a traffic tie-up begins in northern Kentucky. I'm walking you through those changes And not appropriate, a local cemetery is lashing out at Pokemon Go players. And that's not all. 2 Pokemon players are in big trouble for breaking into an Ohio zoo just to catch some monsters. Well, for the past month, construction crews, they've been working on 7175 right there in northern Kentucky. You're seeing some major traffic right now from Buttermilk Pike. But all of that construction was really just to prepare for the major project that gets underway tonight. And it's a project that certainly will slow you down.
There's a lot of potholes out there. We're tired of dealing with them, and I'm sure people are tired of riding over them.
It's a $15 million project that's much needed along 7175. Crews will dig out almost 1.5 feet of concrete on this 2-mile stretch from 275 to Dixie Highway. It hasn't been replaced in almost 25 years.
It's going to have some significant traffic impacts this weekend.
Starting tonight at 10, crews will shift the northbound traffic, closing the right 2 lanes. But once the shift is complete, there will still be 3 northbound lanes. The contraflow lane, which is actually on the southbound side, starts right here at 275. It's surrounded by concrete medians, but actually looks bigger than a normal lane. But that left lane carries northbound traffic directly through.
If you're planning on exiting at Dixie or Buttermilk Pike, stay on the right side. Don't get in the contraflow lane, because that's taking you straight through, so you would be bypassing those exits.
The ramp from Donaldson to 7175 North is also closing, but you can still access 275. Well, Pokemon, no, that's the message coming from a local cemetery. Deerfield Township leaders say the Rose Hill Cemetery has been inundated with people playing Pokemon Go. The township says the mobile game, or any game for that matter, on cemetery property is absolutely inappropriate. Rose Hill holds funerals and burials there nearly every day, and they're asking visitors to simply respect the family's privacy. And 2 people are banned from the Toledo Zoo for playing Pokemon Go, but it's when they did it that has them facing charges this morning. Plus, a snake surprise, how this 10-foot boa constrictor ended up under a woman's car. All right, well, imagine walking outside this afternoon and finding a boa constrictor underneath your car. It happened to a Pennsylvania woman. She says that she was leaving an appointment when she came face to face with the 10-foot-long snake. You're going to see it as they get it out. She had to call a reptile expert and a tow truck driver. The pair were able to jump in and free the snake.
And then when they told me that I might have transported it from where I live to here, I'm a nervous wreck now. I'm going to be checking under my car and around my car every single day now.
Apparently somebody's pet got out. Got loose. It's been out for a while by the looks of it. Very well fed, but just got in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Now that boa is now being cared for by experts. It is expected to be okay, but gosh, going to take a second look under the car before you get in, Jason. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's enough to make your skin kind of crawl.
I mean, we're talking about a snake that's 10 foot long. Thankfully, not a venomous snake. Boas aren't venomous, but
Okay.
they can ring around your arm, ring around your neck, and you're done. So, no thanks.
Not enjoyable, but what is enjoyable is the weather outside
Yeah.
right now. Tell us about the pool.
Looking good
forecast.
now. Unfortunately, though, we do have some storm chances to talk about later today, but these storm chances are going to give us a good weekend ahead. Even better news. So let's talk about it. 9 first warning Doppler, all clear, all quiet, just like it was the same time yesterday. Our cool down tomorrow, Allie, is just temporary because as we go to Sunday and Monday, highs back up to near 90 degrees once again.
So the pool forecast, that's what I'm always asking
Yeah,
for.
I think it's looking good, especially Saturday. Enjoy it with the cooler weather.
Find yourself some of that water. All right, Jason. Well, living in style, we have an exclusive look at some new features coming to Tri-State dorm rooms this fall. And if you already think your Starbucks is overpriced, wait till you see what the coffee chain is brewing up next. Well, school supplies are already in the aisles of Target, making some of us excited. And if you've got kids going off to college this year, they're probably already packing up because move-in is in just about a month. But schools have come a long way from those tiny, cramped dorm rooms with the cinder block walls. It's not just the bed and the desk anymore and that hot plate. Did you have a hot plate in college? Well, Miami University is just one of many revamping dorm rooms for students with more livable space and technology-friendly features.
The cool factor is it's also a swivel chair, or it's a gaming chair. So the idea is that the chair comes apart in that this is a rocker for gaming, and here they can have their computers, their setup, or their pizza, whatever they're doing. But it's really a great feature for the chair. So it's really multi-purpose, and students love that.
The rooms now have features like energy-efficient LED lights, movable furniture, and common areas with bike racks. You can read about the new features there at Miami, Xavier, Thomas More College. You should check out our full article from education reporter Bob Driehaus. It's up now on WCPO.com. And Starbucks is planning a new upscale chain. I thought Starbucks was already pretty upscale, but the company has announced it will create a new brand of stores called Starbucks Reserve Only. They will offer premium small lot reserve coffee in bigger stores. Now, the new Reserve Only stores will start popping up next year in hundreds of locations. Breaking at noon, some closure for the family of a Colerain murder victim. And new information in a double shooting in Mount Airy that left one person dead this morning. Police now saying it was self-defense. And police in France are working nonstop to learn why someone plowed into a crowd of people celebrating Bastille Day.
Now, breaking news and the Tri-State's most accurate forecast. This is 9 on your side.
Breaking this noon hour, an indictment in a cold case murder. James Turan is accused of shooting and killing Colerain liquor store owner Venkat Reddy Goli just after the store closed on New Year's Eve in 2012. Turan is already serving jail time in Caldwell, Ohio for an unrelated crime. At this hour, police are looking into a deadly shooting they say appears to be a case of self-defense. It happened at a Mount Airy apartment around 3 this morning. The man living there called police. He told them he'd been shot by 3 men trying to rob him. He said he'd been shot by one of the suspects. That suspect later died. Neighbors tell us this is not something they've ever seen before. Police say it could take a while to piece together everything.
We're going to look at all the different angles to understand why this happened, how did this happen, and certainly seek the cooperation of the victim in this case and find out what his role was.
I'm just astounded at what I saw this morning because I make my daily walk through here each morning. And this is quite a peaceful neighborhood. We don't have these kinds of things that transpire around here.
At this point, police say they don't have much of a description of those 2 would-be robbers who got away. They're asking for you to call them if you know anything. You know the number, 513-352-3040. 84 people are dead and at least 50 more are clinging to life right now after a terrorist drove a truck into a crowd of people celebrating Bastille Day in Nice, France. As Scott McLean shows us, officials have not yet identified the attacker and no one has claimed responsibility. Former Cincinnati police officer and NFL player Darrell Beavers was back in court today. Police say he failed to update his address. Beavers is a registered sex offender after pleading guilty a few years ago to attempted tampering with evidence and illegal use of a minor in nudity-oriented material. Investigators say he set up a fake police substation and received nude photographs of a teenager who was a member of the Cincinnati Police Explorer program. He was released today on his own recognizance. Now, we have some new information from the National Weather Service about that storm damage we showed you yesterday. Now, this damage in the Work Road area included a trampoline that ended up on a house. This was an EF0 tornado. But this damage in Westwood we showed you from Sky 9, where the roofs were literally peeled off the apartment complex. This was the work of straight-line winds up to 100 miles an hour. Meteorologist Jason Adams joins us now to explain just what this means.
Yeah, so some changes from yesterday, and what happened was the National Weather Service, they came in from Wilmington, and they thought the Westwood apartment complex that got hit was actually Clifton. Not the case.
And 9 on your sign has you covered at the RNC. Our Craig McKee will be bringing us coverage from Cleveland starting on Sunday. Thousands of people will begin arriving in Cincinnati today for the NAACP convention. Leaders with the NAACP are calling this year's convention among the most important they've ever held. The last time the convention was here in Cincinnati in 2008, it was pretty historic as well. Then candidate Barack Obama spoke just months before he went on to be elected the nation's first black president. Presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton is set to speak here Monday morning. Donald Trump declined the invitation to speak, citing the Republican convention going on at the same time in Cleveland. But we have just learned Ohio Governor John Kasich, he will speak on Sunday. The convention officially starts tomorrow. You can count on 9 on your side for complete coverage. Well, did you have property damage from this week's storms? You better check with John Matarese before you file that claim. And we've been telling you about that flour recall because of an E. coli threat, but you might find that flour in places you haven't even thought of. You're watching 9 on Your Side at noon.